Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm looking at a new crowdfunding expansion. This is the Oceans Solo Mode. There's other expansions coming with this, but that's the only thing I was sent. And full disclosure, North Star Games did send me a copy of the original Ocean so that I could play this expansion, but the expansion is just a prototype, of course. I'm going to do a full solo playthrough and then give my impressions, so hang on to the end for those. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. We also have a streaming channel with even more great content. You can listen to our weekly podcast with 1 to 2 episodes per week, or join the conversation on our Discord. So the basic idea of Oceans, this is kind of an offshoot of the Evolution game, which I used to enjoy playing quite a lot, is that the players are trying to get these fish, which are basically victory points, eat as many of them as they can. Whoever has the most at the end of the game is the winner. And you have these trait cards in your hand. You can generally play one a turn, either starting an entirely new species with that trait or adding on up to 3 per species by normal rules. After you play your one card, you pick one species to feed. They can either forage from the reef here, or you can get carnivorous and try to eat fish from the other players. And at the end of each turn, all of your species age, which means one fish comes off. If they don't have a fish to come off, then they go away, they die out, and all the cards get discarded. And there are also cards that take fish straight from these ocean areas over here. You can also use cards to move them into the reef. When all the fish are exhausted from the first ocean area, you unlock the Cambrian Explosion, which basically doubles the aging and doubles the cards you can play. Also, you have these other cards that will trigger when their corresponding ocean zone is completely empty. And the end game is triggered when there are no fish in any of the ocean spaces at all. So that's a quick overview of the game. For the solo mode, you have 2 extra boards you're playing with, so it's kind of like you're in a sort of 3-player-ish game. The shark board is always carnivorous, and they'll try to eat whoever will give them the most fish, which could be their own whale board friend or could be one of your species. And the whale board will forage as much as it can from the reef, and they both have these little traits tokens that are drawn from these general pools that will go to them and upgrade them as the game goes along, kind of like your trait cards. And you can increase the difficulty by using nastier traits tokens and using nastier event cards. But I'll confess right before we start playing that I am absolute trash at this. I have not beaten the AI on the easiest difficulty yet. So yeah, watch Mike be terrible at Oceans is going to be the game today. But let's jump into playing. So let's walk through some of these basic trait cards. There's a collection of them in the deck. And then there are also these deep cards, which are more advanced, which you can only play after the Cambrian Explosion. But they have more specialized abilities. So speed, you'll see a lot of cards have these icons here. This is giving you foraging ability, which is the green, or eating other fish ability, which is the red, to attack. And you add up the value of those. So like, for example, if I had a species like this, they could now forage for 7, but they would not be able to attack at all. The second you have anything with a little crossed out, that option becomes taken away for that species to feed. Additionally, many cards will have a shell like this at the bottom. That's defense. It cancels out attack, so people eat less from you. And cards all have this little value in the lower left. Instead of playing a card on your turn, you can discard a card and move that many fish from one area to another. So for example, if I wanted to get fish out of the reef to deny the whale being able to eat them, or if I wanted to unlock the abundance card earlier because I'm playing on easy and these are both good for me, they don't help the AI at all, I could like move fish out of there into another one of the ocean sections. And speed also lets you have an extra trait, so it's a nice one. Filter feeder gives you a ton of foraging, and it means you never overpopulate. If a species would ever eat so many fish that they go to the bone, they stop eating there. Half of their fish go back into the supply. And fish are victory points, so that's not a good thing for you. There are also a lot of cards that gain fish. That's what this little triangular blue symbol are. These come straight from the leftmost ocean section, not from the reef. And they'll be based on the actions of other species generally. So this one says after a species with 3 or more forages, this fish gains 3. So you can kind of get like some nice little synergies between your species. Then the last one I have is this tentacle. You can feed an additional time. So yeah, this game, at least how I understand it, again, I'm terrible at it, is all about getting as many fish as I can while denying them from the AI taking them from me because we only have one pool of 100 fish and I want to get the most to win the game. Or sorry, what I should say is I need to get at least 70 points to win the game, 70 fish, but any fish the AI eats are fish that I can't eat. So I'm going to play speed because the 2 defense is going to stop the shark from eating me. I could get a lot more doing something like filter feeder, but then the shark would just eat most of them because I would have no defense to stop him. So yeah, I think that'd be a dumb move. And then I have to either forage for 2 or attack for 2. Now, a fish with no forage and attack values has an inborn 1 forage and attack value, so it's kind of like you can imagine these boards having a 1 green and a 1 red, but those don't add to anything you play, so I just have a basic 2/2 here. Since I take the first turn, there's nothing to eat from either of these boys, so we're just going to forage 2 fish from the reef. And there we go. And then I age 1 fish from every one of my species. And this might seem like a bad thing, but these go into like your locked down, permanently protected victory point pile. So again, maybe my strategy is totally off, but I think it's good to age. I think it's good to protect your fish because then the AI can't steal them from you. And then to end my turn, I'm going to draw back up to 6 cards. I can discard as many as I want. I could also get one of these deep cards. I can either pick one of the 3 that are face up, or I can draw 4, keep 1, and then cover the other 3. But like I said earlier, you can't play these cards until the Cambrian Explosion. You also have to pay this many fish from the species board that you're adding it to. Otherwise, they just kind of sit dead in your hand. So since the AI is not competing for them, there's really no reason for me to grab them until I'm getting close to that Cambrian Explosion triggering from the first ocean running out. But I don't think I want, I guess Filter Feeder and Whale Cleaner combo together. But again, they just opened me up to the Shark attacking me a ton. I don't like Tentacle either. I'm getting rid of all this stuff. And a new hand, let's look at it real quick. I got Apex Predator, which is the basic attack card. It gives me 3 attack and 2, but then you can't forage anymore. I got Shark Cleaner, which is similar to the Whale Cleaner you saw before, except it triggers a 2 gain from the ocean whenever somebody attacks with 3 or more. Bottom Feeder gains 2 whenever someone to their right is attacked. Transparent is a defensive one. It means they cannot be attacked or leech for fish as long as there's any fish in the reef. And Inking is also defensive. These are not terrible, and they aren't great. We'll see what I do with them. All right, so coming over to the enemy boards. So first of all, I didn't talk about this, but their traits, you can see what's coming, and they'll use them from right to left. So this first one is for the whale. This is a gaining one, as though they had played one of those like kind of synergistic cards. And it goes on your species, not them, but on your species with the most current population, most fish, which means a little speed friend here. And this means now this species is actually a liability. Whenever the whale feeds, they're going to get a number of fish from the ocean equal to the entire population of the species. So I kind of want to let them die out, or at least keep them low if I can. And other things coming, I can see the shark is going to get 2 extra defense. So it'll be harder to feed off him. The whale's going to get 2 extra foraging. Wow, so I probably want to be ready to eat some of him and his fish. This is a leech token. It's going to go on one of my species, and the shark will steal 2 from them every turn unless I'm transparent. And this is a transparency going on the shark. That's actually good. So the shark is going to get 2 defensive traits, which means if I just ignore the shark and don't try to attack him, that's kind of like 2 wasted level ups. I'm fine with that. All right, but now the shark tries to attack for 2 the species that'll give it the most fish. The whale has no fish to steal from, and my only species has 2 defense, so he would steal 0, so he is eating for nothing, yay. And then the whale gains for each of its gains tokens. I have 1 population, so it's getting 1 from the leftmost ocean. And then it forages for 2 from the reef, and then they age 1 from each of their boards, just like I age. So this is locked away. I can never get that fish. But there's 2 fish on the whale board that I could eat if I so choose. And sure, I think I might get aggressive and eat those whale fish. And then I can maybe get the shark cleaner out to get some free fish comboing off that. So let's play Apex Predator. I don't want it to be on the speed species because they're, again, a liability. I might just let them die out. So I'm going to play it here. You can go to the left or the right or like in between your species because adjacency does matter for some of the card abilities. Well, that's my 1 card play. For my feeding, I'm going to attack for 3. And nom nom, eat up both the fish left on the whale board. And then we're aging, which is great because now my speed species here cannot be gained from the whale this time. Now, they don't go away. A species only dies out when it would need to age and cannot. So like if I didn't add any fish to this one next turn, which I might not, then it would go away. All right, let's see. What do I want to get rid of? I don't really care about defense right now, so I'll get rid of both of those. The Shark Cleaner I could actually play and benefit off my own Apex Predator. The Whale Cleaner will trigger off of the whale board in a few turns when they go up to 4 foraging. The Bottom Feeder, if I can get it next to somebody who's being attacked consistently. All of these could give me just consistent feeding without actually using up my 1 feeding per turn, which I think is key. Again, I'm not very good at the game because that way I'm getting a lot of fish that will then be aged into safety without actually needing to use my 1 feeding per turn to make it happen. So I think I'll keep those 3. And I got one of the few cards you haven't seen yet, Symbiotic. Gain 1 after the species to the right, 4 to 0 attacks. This is a great one because I can just basically play this to like look at the shark in this case, like just put it on the right side, wrapping around to the shark. And then every time he attacks, I'll get one fish, and then that fish will age away, and I'll be safe each time until the Cambrian Explosion doubles everything. So yeah, I like these cards. I'm going to just try to have like a lot of species that are just limping along, but getting me a ton of safe fish every turn. We'll see how it goes. All right, so the shark now has 2 defense, but I wasn't planning on eating him anyway. He has no one to feed from. I took away the whale fish that he might have eaten himself, which is good because if both the shark and the whale board have fish on them, they're double aging, which is not good for me to keep fish. But yeah, so he can't attack anybody. The whale has nothing, and I'm still turtle shelled up over here for both of my species. And the whale is going to gain nothing from my speed species because they have no species. Haha. So they're just foraging twice. And by the way, I said you can discard a card on your turn to move fish from one zone to another. Often that's used to move from the ocean to the reef so that you can forage. And the whale board gets a free movement from the ocean to the reef if there's nothing in the reef at the start of their turn. So if you want to lock out the whale, I've found sometimes the best thing to do is to get the reef down to like a single fish. That way they don't add any more yet, but they don't get almost anything for their action. And the whale's aging 1 fish. Congratulations. We come back to me. So I could eat with my speed demon over here, but I don't think I really care. And my apex predator is about to... Well, maybe I will do something with the speed fish. Let's see. Because I can just eat them from the whale after they gain them. So I was thinking the shark cleaner, although that wouldn't trigger unless my apex predator is the one who attacks. I could also just get my symbiotic going. I mean, that's such a simple one to get me, a free fish basically every turn. So sure, I'll let the speed fish die. I'm just not going to do anything with them. So when the aging happens, they'll be gone. I'll just clear them out now. Which means this token goes back into the possible token supply for them to draw from. So I've foiled that AI. And then I'm going to play a symbiotic fish as my new species. It's pointing to the right, which wraps around to the shark. So whenever the shark takes its forage or attack action, which is going to happen every turn, I'll get 1 fish from the ocean. But I do need to get at least 1 fish right now. Remember, every species has a free 1 forage or 1 attack. Which worked out better than I expected. He'll attack the whale board for 1 because they still have no defense. And that'll leave them safe until the Cambrian Explosion because the shark is going to feed them every turn. So, boom, absolutely nothing for us to attack. That's, I think, how you're supposed to be playing the game. Who knows? What am I going to get rid of? I still like the whale cleaners and shark cleaners. Again, they should be like safely triggering pretty soon, basically every turn. Bottom feeder seems a little bit tougher to use. I'll get rid of that and transparent. And I could consider getting some deep cards. All right, parasitic is one you haven't seen yet. Before your feeding phase, it leeches 2 from the species to the right, which means like it literally just like steals 2 fish if they are there to steal. And schooling you haven't seen yet either. It's aging +1, which seems like a bad thing, but if that means that you have 2 fish every round and they both get into your score supply instead of them being available for the shark or the whale to leech off of, that can be good. And they can't be attacked if the species has 5 or more population, 5 or more fish on it. All right, so these are some options. And now this is pretty big. The whale is going to now be foraging 4 every turn, so I got to try to lock some of that down. But the shark does nothing. There's nobody to eat from. There are literally no fish on anybody. And then the whale gets 4 fish. And the next one, this is leeching, the same as the card that I have. It's going to go on my most populous species. Tiebreakers go to the left. And it'll steal 2 from them each time the shark takes its turn. So I want to hopefully get it on somebody that's going to not have any fish to steal from generally. All right, after aging the whale, okay, what do I want to do? Oh, so symbiotic, should actually have 1 fish because the shark did its eating. And, this is a question. The rules seem to indicate the shark always attacks, like always feeds, even if it doesn't actually have anything to feed. So I'm going to assume that my symbiotic still triggers, but yeah, the shark didn't actually eat anything. So I could be wrong about that. Maybe that fish with species would not be doing anything here. All right, so this turn's interesting. So I wanted to play like my shark cleaner. Which I guess I could do. Yeah, okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Shark Cleaner. I guess I'll put it left if you're right. I want to mess up the Symbiotics one. And then I'm going to attack with my Apex Predator, which does have an attack value of 3 or more, which means the Shark Cleaner will gain 2 from the ocean. And that 3 attack is enough to take everything from the whale. Although, as you're about to see in a moment, this isn't necessarily ideal because the shark is going to put that leech on my Apex Predator and take their stuff away. Maybe I let them die, or do I have any transparent cards? I keep on throwing them away. Maybe I shouldn't have been. I could add a parasitic to parasite before he parasites. That'll be an option. We'll just have to see what happens. All right, well, I definitely don't need all these whale cleaners. Parasitic to the right seems tough to go off. Aging +1 could be good. I'm not really feeling speed. I don't know. Let's keep those 2. All right, and indeed, this leeching token is going to go on my Apex Predator. And again, this one is transparent, which is going to make the shark unattackable, basically, as long as there's fish in the reef. And then, he does have somebody to eat. He's getting the one that was left to my Shark Cleaner, so that's not great. although my Symbiotic does trigger from that. And then the whale eats 4 from the reef. There's only 1 left, which is great for me. I want to leave just that 1 in there if I can, so that the whale basically wastes a feeding action, and they age 2. All right, so there's still 3 on the whale board. We'll see if I can get to it. Oh, wait, no. Forgot about the sharks leeching. They have 2 more as well. Yes, it's a little bit silly, but I don't want to deal with the leeching. I didn't get any transparency to stop it. So I'm going to just play an Apex. I'm going to let this species die out, let that leech go away. Again, that would happen when I'm aging, but I'm just trying to keep the board clean. So I'm going to just play a new Apex Predator. And they're going to attack the whale for 3, which triggers the Shark Cleaner to gain 2 from my 3 attack. And the Symbiotic has its 1 from when the shark attacks. So I'm still leaving some fish open for stealing. It's not ideal, but it's the best I can do. And yeah, Whale Cleaner should still be good. Schooling, I don't know if I'll need. The Cambrian explosion is happening pretty soon. Although, if I put it on somebody like the Shark Cleaner, they wouldn't be able to rob them anymore. So maybe I will keep that. Symbiotic to the right. It's not going to work too well. I've already got 1. And Inking. Okay, I'll get rid of those 2. Well, I don't need 2 schooling, do I? And the Cambrian explosion is probably about to trigger, so I should probably maybe grab one of these. Or I could draw 4. So Gentle Giant can't be attacked. Has a 3 forage, may store 5 extra population on the species board. So that's great if I get a bunch of population on there. Tentacle lets you feed 2 additional times. I don't think that's as good as something with Gentle Giant. And Symbiotic gains 1 after either species to the left or right. I kind of like Gentle Giant. I'm going to get that. So it doesn't cost me anything now, but to play it on a species, they would need to have 2 population to discard. Hopefully that wasn't a terrible mistake. We'll see. All right, and the shark is transparent. And whenever the board is full, you just fill out things. Okay, it's actually not the worst. 1 defense for the whale, not really worried about. The gains could be a little bit annoying. 1 more attack is not that bad. 3 more foraging is kind of crazy. I need to try to keep the whale poor in the reef, which means I need to get my own forager in there, like with the Gentle Giant, to steal from them. And what's the deep token? The whale being transparent. Ooh, that'll make things a little bit more complicated when it triggers. All right, so the shark is going to eat the 1 fish that was left in my Shark Cleaner. But that triggers 1 population for my Symbiotic, which I'm realizing won't be enough in a moment when the Cambrian explosion triggers to keep him alive. And then the whale is foraging 4. Or are they? No, there's only 1 left in the reef, and their little moving things over from the ocean only triggers at the start of their turn. So they only got 1 fish. Oh, now this makes things a bit interesting for me, doesn't it? So if I don't attack with my Apex Predator, the Shark Cleaner won't trigger. And only the Apex Predator has enough population for me to do the Gentle Giant. But I can't because they already have a... Oh, actually, that's right. You can throw away cards whenever you want. So I think I could play this on them and then make them not be a predator anymore, but then the Shark Cleaner would be in trouble, and there's not even anything in the reef for him to eat. Darn it. Let's try schooling on them. Yeah, I don't know. This is what we're going to do for now. Then the Apex Predator will attack. They're just getting the single 1 from the whale. They can't even choose to attack the shark because of a transparent. Oh, actually, right. There is nothing in the reef right now. Is it better for me to attack the shark? I'd get 1 fish either way, so sure. And that 1 attack triggers the Shark Cleaner getting 2. And then now he ages twice because of a schooling card. That was my plan, at least. And you can throw away traits at any time. I think I mentioned that a moment ago. So, once the Cambrian explosion triggers, I can get rid of that if that's going to be killing my species. And I want to grab this Behemoth. Ignores can't be attacked effects if the species has a greater attack than the target, which means I could attack the shark. If, I put it on him, it would be for 6. He would ignore the transparent of the shark. By the way, what am I talking about playing these? I've just realized the Cambrian explosion hasn't triggered yet. You can't play deep cards yet. But yeah, just planning ahead. If I did the Behemoth, I could eat the heck out of the shark, and that'd be pretty cool, right? So sure, it might be a terrible idea, but I'll get another deep card that I might never play. Tentacled? No, schooling. I'm going to get rid of all these. All right, and the Cambrian explosion should be about to happen because the whale board is going to pull things into the reef in a second. The shark's actually eating him. I just realized because none of my fish can be attacked for 2, but he has no defense. Oh, wait, he does have 1 defense, which is not enough to stop the shark from getting the 1 fish that was on him with his 2 attack. This triggers my Symbiotic, which is not going to be enough to survive after the explosion in a moment. All right, and then the whale's getting... Oh, that's right. First, the whale has to move things over because the reef is empty, and we look at the top discard cards. So I actually had control of this and didn't think about it, which is 7. I'm assuming that's enough. Yep, that's 6 from Ocean 1, and the 7th comes from Ocean 2. Which means now the Cambrian explosion is active, and also Biodiverse Reef is active, but only for my species. So the AI never benefits from these or suffers from them when they're negative. That's how you increase difficulty. So all species have +2 foraging capability. And starting with my next turn, or actually no, starting with the AI's turn, We'll play 2 cards per turn. The AI is going to play 2 tokens per turn, and we age 2 per turn instead of 1, and now you can play deep cards. But the whale is getting 4 of these. And we just move all these over and fill in. So now we'll do the top and bottom of the current row. That's a lot of gains. I don't love that. So I don't want to do like a big, yeah, this is a bummer. But okay, so the shark and the whale are both taking away 2 of these each. All right, so if I play Behemoth or Gentle Giant, the problem is all those gains tokens are just going to feed the whale. Here's what I think I'm actually going to do. I think I'm going to play for my first card an Apex Predator. A new one, starting a species over here. And I think I'm going to make this Apex Predator a whale cleaner to gain some free food when the whale eats. Remember, each species can have up to 3 cards unless they have speed to give them more capability. And then here's the method to my madness. This guy has 3 attack. With the 1 defense, he's going to feed for 2 off of the whale. And that triggers a bunch. Now the symbiotic is next to him, so he gains another 1, so he'll be able to survive 1 more turn. And the shark cleaner gains 2 from somebody eating. Whoops, let's throw away his schooling, because he can't age +1 right now. You can just throw cards away again whenever you want, basically. Or like during your playing cards phase, so I guess I would have had to do it technically a minute ago. And there we go, at least for the moment. I have survived. Got an 8 fish lockdown. That seems pretty great. And left 0 for them to eat. I love that. And wait, I think I have too many cards, don't I? No, that's right. I'll keep 1 transparent, maybe 1 filter feeder to go with the Gentle Giant. Although all those gains make me think that's not going to be a good idea. We'll do that. All right, and so the whale is gaining even 1 more forage capability. And they're gaining, but literally none of my species have any populations. They're just gaining from the leftmost, the shark cleaner. I'm going to try to make sure they never have any populations. So, haha. The shark has nothing to eat. My symbiotic's not next to it anymore anyway, so we don't have to worry about whether I'm playing that rule right. But the whale is going to try to forage 5. Psych, only 3 is available. Ha ha ha. And 2 comes off of each. All right, I definitely feel like I'm outpacing them, so hopefully my score is going to be better than it usually is. Oh, and my whale cleaner gets 3 whenever the whale eats. All right, so once again, looking at what I can play, the only species that have any population to discard for Gentle Giant or Behemoth is this one, but they're actually in a pretty good spot with their whale cleaner. The Apex Predator doesn't really matter. And there's more gain tokens coming for the whale in the next 2 turns. I guess that would give me more to eat off of them if I did like the Behemoth, but then I would overpopulate. Yeah, I'm just afraid of giving them a ton of free fish. I'm definitely about to lose a bunch of people because I don't think there's any way I can get the food I need otherwise. Yeah, I'm really not sure what to play because anything I play onto is basically going to just die right now. All right, geez, I don't know. I think I'm going to make this whale cleaner transparent so that the shark can't eat the extra fish. Seems like a dumb thing to do, but whatever. Actually, let's use this transparent. And then for my second play, I'm going to discard this to get 7 into the reef, I guess. And then we're about to trigger the great die-off. My Apex Predator is going to eat 1 from the whale, which is going to get 1 on the symbiotic. Notice that none of these are going to be enough for them to stay alive. And 2 on the shark cleaner. And then they're good. This guy's transparent, so we won't be able to steal from him. But they both die. Bye. Okay, this doesn't seem great for Mike. All right, and then, oh my gosh, the whale is just foraging everything. And they're doing a gain. It's going to be my Apex Predator over here, which is going to get them, they're going to keep on getting more and more population because my whale cleaner, I might just throw that away. All right, so the shark can't attack anybody, but then the whale is gaining 1 for my fish over there and then foraging 8. There's only 7 in the reef, so it's empty again, but that's a lot, which does get my whale cleaner 3 population, but I don't know if I want that because they're just going to benefit from it. Let's see. The first thing I think I want to do, this is just like a nice kind of clean play. If I do parasitic, should I parasite let's parasite the whale. So before I feed, they're just going to steal 2 from the whale. So as long as the whale has at least 2 every turn, they're just going to always be getting me 2 points. Speaking of, I forgot to age the whale twice. And you know what the heck? Let's throw away the whale cleaner for this guy and make him a transparent Apex Behemoth. Sounds pretty cool. Oh, wait, no, he's got the gain token. If he goes giant, then it's just going to be terrible. So you know what? Never mind. I am going to make the parasite on my own guy. That way the whale won't have anything to gain off of, I guess. And then, maybe this is a terrible idea, but I'm going to try to lock the whale out of foraging. I'm going to forage for the first time. So he has 5. The biodiverse reef ability gives me +2. So he's going to forage for 7. So I'm going to discard inking as my second card to move 9 over to the reef. And then I'll get 7 of it. So yes, it'll be easy for the shark to eat me some. But it will mean that the whale is not getting all that food. And I've emptied out the second ocean zone. So now all of my gains abilities, I don't know if I have any left. Oh, yeah, I do. They will be +1. All right, so for the start of my feeding turn, this guy parasites away 2. I like that. Then for my actual feeding, I'm going to have the filter feeder do 7. Again, might be a bad idea. Oh, crap. He's still going to whale clean for 4 more now with the abundance. Okay, I'll say I threw that away during the the play phase. Although then he's going to be getting nothing. But I don't want them to get anything either. I don't know. Oh, and I just realized my shark cleaner's dead. Bye, buddy. The rest of these people are doing this. And the shark's just going to feast on my filter feeder, isn't he? Oh, and it's worse than I thought. Okay, the shark's getting stronger finally, but this gain is going on my filter feeder, and they're just going to get all the fish from them. Well, the good thing is the shark's going to eat a lot, so that'll actually help out. Yeah, the shark's... Wait, yeah, the shark would get more from my filter feeder than from the whale. They'd get 3 with no defense, which, yeah, in a way is a blessing because that means the whale can't get 3 fish. So the whale gains 2 there. And then he wants to forage for 8, but there's only 2 left in the reef. Mwahaha. At least that part of my plan worked out okay. And they do this. We'll be in next turn leeching, and the whale's becoming transparent. Oh, so I won't be able to attack him. My parasite is going to die, because I don't have anything on this guy, and it happens to be 4 feeding. Yeah, I don't... Stupid gains token. I don't want to, make this guy good, or I'm just making the whale better. Unless he just eats the whale so quickly that it's okay. It's I could put, speed on him this turn, and then, behemoth on him next turn, and then he would just eat a ton. Yeah, because I do need to have at least one species that goes big, because when the third ocean runs out, you bring a bunch of fish in from the reserve, so you can actually go above the kind of max of 100 fish that are divided between everybody. So I want to have at least somebody that can go ham on the final turn. Yes, what if I make him speed? That lets me play an additional trait. What if I give him speed and make him parasitic? Is that too much? The shark won't be able to attack me, although he will be able to leech off of me. But whatever, let's see what happens. So parasite has nothing to eat off of this turn, and I've got 5 attack. But first I parasite 2 from the whale, and then I can attack them with their 1 defense for 4 more, so I got 6. And then my parasite dies. Both of these guys are alive, and the shark's about to mess up this one a little bit before the gain happens, so that's good at least. And I'm going to throw away both of these. I'm going to put the bottom feeder on top. That way the whale will only transfer over 7 to the reef instead of 8, so they won't eat their max. Whatever. All right, now the whale is transparent, so as long as there's something in the reef, although there won't be, I can't attack them, and they're leeching off of my fighter over there. This means the shark is going to steal 2 from him, and then he's going to attack... Oh, no, he can't attack... Oh, that's right, there's nothing in the reef, so he can attack the whale. And then the whale is going to gain 2 from my people. Yeah, this species here is just the gift that keeps on giving. And they're going to move 7 to the reef and then eat it all. See how close are we to the ocean being empty? We got at least a few more turns left, I think. Yeah, I'm not feeling great about my chances here. I'm just not doing a lot. I guess I'll play a parasitic species. Pointing over at the shark, it'll get me 2. That maybe will be consistently easy to age. And then, man, what the heck do I do? If he eats... Well, there's nothing to eat, I guess, unless I discard. All right, yeah, let's do that. I'll discard Tentacle to add 8 to the reef. And then he's going to forge 7 of it. Of course, it's just saying, hey, come and eat me. And gain from me, whale. But the parasite steals 2 from the shark. And then we age all of that. So at least they aren't getting anything from this guy this turn. All right, and the whale gets a 3 and is very hard to eat now. Wow. And the shark is eating 3 from my filter feeder. And the whale is gaining 2 from my filter feeder, but only getting 1 from the reef because I ate the rest. So that's kind of okay. And good, the shark has exactly enough for my parasite to eat off of him. Cool. So yeah, the parasite will be fine. The filter feeder's got enough to age. Actually, I'm not big enough to attack the whale now, but he's not protected by transparent. So let's throw in my own transparent. Oh, he's going to parasite off the whale, so maybe I don't have to worry about him. Wait, did I do that last time? I don't know. See, actually, all of my species right now will be fine. Is there anybody else I can get out here? Yeah, let's look in the rules, and it doesn't say I can attack somebody, so I can attack my own fish for 0 just to trigger the shark cleaner. Is that a winning play? Probably not. Probably not, but, you know, it is what it is. Here, for my second card, I don't know, let's put this whale cleaner on the filter feeder, because I don't know if I'm actually going to use him for filter feeding, but then I'll get some free fish when the whale eats. See what happens, buddy. I'm discarding with a 6 on top so that the whale won't get as many into the ocean. right, so it's a bit complicated. So he's parasiting 2 from the whale. This one's parasiting 2 from the shark. Then I'm going to say this one is attacking him for 0, which triggers Shark Cleaner, which gets him 3, more than I actually want because of the +1 trait thing. And then, yeah, I lock down 8 of these and nobody dies. Oh, crud. I think I'll get one more turn, but we'll see. All right, the shark. Oh, I'd have to put out new upgrades, don't I? All right, the whale is even more defended. That's fine. Oh, and the shark is leeching off of my Shark Cleaner, who they were going to eat anyway. But they're not strong enough to actually eat anything from the whale, so we're not getting anything else. And then the whale's moving 6 over because that's the top card and definitely forging all of it. Which means definitely the final turn is coming up. So I want to go as big as I can. I don't really know if I can go very big, but we'll do what we can. Let's see, my parasites are going to parasite. My Shark Cleaner will get some free stuff when the shark attacks. So really what I want to do is get like a big forage or something. I forgot, this guy got 4 more from the whale eating. Wow, so we actually only have 1 fish left in the ocean. Might have triggered the game immediately. Glad I didn't. All right, so yeah, I think the best I can do is to play Gentle Giant on this guy, and he'll be my 1 feeding this turn. So that'll cost me 2 fish. And then I think the shark is going to attack my Shark Cleaner. So, well, it's not really worth getting rid of Whale Cleaner just to put bottom feeder, is it? Oh, I know, for my second card play, I'll get some food in the reef so I can actually eat it. So let's see, 10, that seems good. Now it does run out the ocean, but I'm still going to add 7 more, and then like this reserve goes in the ocean again. The fish is technically unlimited. So there we go, there's my 10. And the rest, boom. All right, so then my final feeding, we parasite 2 from the whale with this guy. We parasite only 1 with the shark. Oh no, you're going to die. Oh crud, wait, am I going to overpopulate? The Gentle Giant says I can hold 5 more population. I'm about to get 8. That would get me to 10, which means I have 5 more space. But that would trigger my own Whale Cleaner, which would get me to 14. And then when the whale went again, it would get me to, well, aging will take away 2. So it would get me to 12, 16, which is, what, too many. So even though it does cost me some points, let's say that I threw away the Whale Cleaner trait during my plaything. Okay, and now I'll forge 8. There we go. And that would normally go into overpopulation, but the Gentle Giant is preventing that. I can still hold 5 more. And I'm going to age a lot of stuff. And then all the fish on my board are worth money, but let's see what the other people do. So we don't actually care about their scores. We don't like have to worry about the whale, but we do have to worry about the shark, who did not get any stronger. So he's attacking for 3. But this guy can't be attacked. So all he's doing is leeching 1 from the Shark Cleaner. But then, again, I think he tries to attack for nothing. Let's count our points and see how we did. Jeez. Oh, this solo mode. So on the easiest difficulty, I thought I was playing intelligently. I did, for the first time, out of like my 5 times playing this, I did win, technically. 71 points, which is 1 more point than the absolute lowest winning score possible. So, my gosh. I mean, y'all watching this who are like Oceans veterans, maybe you can tell me what idiotic thing I'm doing. I don't know. So let's get into my thoughts on this one. And yeah, it's a little bit mixed. And again, I don't know if I'm just playing the game badly, but it feels like, again, this is an Oceans novice talking, but it feels like the huge prevalence of these gains tokens and these leech tokens, especially the gain tokens. So in the game, you know, when you have something that like gains off of another species, usually it's like 2 or maybe 3 whenever they do something. For the whale gains, it's equal to the population of your species, which immediately just like takes away any incentive to get a species up to a higher value. Unless I'm just like being dumb and it's not a big deal for the whale to eat more. Maybe I should just be eating more from the whale after they gain off of me. Maybe that's my mistake. But yeah, it feels like the way the shark works, the way the whale works, and the way these like kind of leeching and gaining tokens works really disincentivizes making big species. So the only ways I've found to like do at least kind of halfway decent in the game is to make a lot of like little species that are gaining kind of synergistically off others, which is fine. Like that's not an unknown strategy in Oceans competitively when I've played it. You don't always want to have like a giant species just foraging all the time and making yourself a target. But it does, at least for me, limit a little bit of the fun of the solo mode because, you know, having like giant cool species with lots of traits is what I think makes the game feel awesome. And I feel like maybe, again, unless I'm just playing badly, the solo mode is sort of disincentivizing that. But that being said, I still enjoy the core gameplay of Oceans, and being able to play it solo is super cool, you know, not having to play it competitively. And the tactical choices are very interesting of like where to put your stuff and when to attack the whale and when to attack the shark and like how to arrange everything. I would say they're actually more interesting than in the competitive game. So I think this is a very good solo play experience for people who like a kind of intense tactical card play. but either I'm trash at it or the balance is off or some mix therein. So yeah, I'm hoping somebody comments on this video and kind of explains what I'm doing wrong. But if you like Oceans, I think this is a no-brainer because it just lets you play solo. And again, the solo is super interesting. I just haven't necessarily found it fun, but I'm still not sure if that's me or if that's the current game and its prototype design. But anyway, I hope that lets some of you make a more informed choice about the solo mode, and I hope you enjoy playing it. If you do, maybe you'll do better than me. For now, good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next stop.